Hello and welcome back everyone. I hope this video finds you well. We're just going to be sitting down here for a casual morning and just talking about minimalism and minimalism pertaining to photography, specifically more so nature and outdoor photography, which is obviously most of what I do here, especially on this channel. So yeah, I just think it's an interesting topic. It's something that's much more, I think, on the creative and kind of artistic and compositional side of photography, but it's really something important. I feel like it's worth raising, starting a conversation about, and really raising awareness about making simple photographs and stuff that you're hopefully proud of as a result. So minimalism to me in photography really means it's something that's simple. It removes extraneous details and distractions from the frame, from the photograph, and it just makes a simplified overall image and something that's much more pleasing and aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So that's something that I feel like is really important, is to, especially when you're composing a photograph behind the camera, is to really identify, what is essential to this image, and really what do I want to share with this photograph to prospective viewers. It's something I'm always having to keep myself in check for, and something I'm always asking myself, is that really, what am I making this photograph for? Is it to show like a story? Is it show some kind of detail I've thought no one else would really see before? Is it something that I'm just really excited to look at and share? Or is it something that maybe other people may enjoy? So it's really just about what your end result, I guess, is with the image here. And that's something that I feel like is really important, is to know the whys. The why are you taking this image? Instead of just shooting just anything and not really having much of a story or a meaning to it. And so for the good bulk of my work, at least a good portion of it, minimalism and simplified kind of photography is something that's really important. It really embodies a lot of what I do in my portfolio, because I like to make really simplified images, not necessarily abstracts always, but a lot of my abstracts do kind of have that more simplified quality, because they're, just let's say if it's like a blurry, like an ICM photograph, intentional camera movement, obviously it's going to show more blur, but it's going to show less specific details, if that makes sense. So it's just showing colors and just lines in motion, and that's pretty much it. So that's one example, but even then you can take a static frame of an image and call that a simplified minimalist image. So really to me it's all about not necessarily making images that are just super clean, while that is great and all, but it's just making images that are really simple, and just those compositions, not necessarily simple, but it's just nice to look at. And it's something that's just easy, you can see it and appreciate it still all the same. So it's hard to really say simplified, because it sounds like you're kind of making a negative term out of the the whole branch of minimalism here, but it's mainly about just simplifying the image without making it such as it's boring at the same time. So it's really something that I've really had to work on over the years and refine, but it's something that I'm finding more so is something that I really want to do with my work overall. And I recommend, if you're a photographer as well, that you would, nothing's more aggravating than if I'm taking a photograph of a bird and there's tons of just tree branches surrounding it, crossing over its body, or just in the background, in the frames, and that's something that's really aggravating. So wildlife is one, I guess, exception to the rule, where it's very hard to make a simple image, so you really have to work for it in that case. But in this case, a lot of landscapes, you can really make a nice simplified image, like an isolated tree out in an open field, or even converting to black and white later on in post-production. I find it's really can be essential to removing color and just focusing on the essential. So I find a lot of today's images overall, just stuff I'm seeing online stuff, there can be a lot of noisy images, not necessarily digital noise like ISO, but they'll just be the compositionally, or just they have so much going on, and those, we'll call them busier images instead of noisy, but those busier images just kind of distract the mind, I guess, and I don't find much to be too calm about them overall, and that's kind of why I moved towards a more intimate style of photography with a lot of my work, is I try my best to get images that can really show that more calmer, I guess, gentler side and approach to photography overall. So I recommend, maybe if you're out on a hike or a nature walk, and let's say you are an outdoor photographer, and just look out for different subject matter, maybe a reflection in the lake, and watching all the trees over top just reflect straight down. Shots like that can be very cool. Maybe if there's a nice leaf that's hanging over on like a really thin branch and there's a nice blue sky around it. Maybe take an image of that if you can compose it well. Yeah, just look for simple things like that. Even nice waterfalls that don't have too much going on around it, but just focus on the stream that's flowing from it. Stuff like that could be really cool. Or even macro photography is a great way to simplify your overall minimal photography process. And if you use an extension tube or a macro lens, you can just really provide that nice wide aperture that puts all the background out of focus, blurs it basically, and puts all focus on, let's say, a flower or an insect or a butterfly or some other kind of bug. So that's something you can really try out. Or just use a small telephoto lens and crop really into a landscape that's far distant and just extract details that maybe just are interest of you. You may see 6 images in an open field with a sunset, but try and break it down a little bit, maybe into like a quadrant or grid kind of style, and see really what you can come up with if you just crop out details. You could probably make 6 images, that's an arbitrary number of course, but you could probably make 6 images or something like that from that single frame that you're looking at, your single view in front of you. So that's something to really consider, to really try out and simplify your photography overall. But minimalism for me in this case, it's very important. It's something that I'm really always looking out to simplify the images. Before I even press that shutter, I have to ask myself, why am I taking this, and how can I further make it much more easier to look at image, but still being something that's, I would think, at least captivating for both me and the viewers as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it before I ramble on too much here. But I did want to kind of raise that point and maybe even just start a discussion about this kind of style of photography. So if you have any comments, leave them down below. Tell me if you like the video and what you think about minimalism and photography and how they go hand in hand here as well. So thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.